Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Being pure-hearted, it's a fantastic trait, but let's be real. In the actual world, unchecked naivete can and will cost you dearly. People are totally willing to manipulate your good intentions and gladly take the credit for your hard work. But today, we're changing that. We're going to transform that overly accommodating mindset into a strategic, self-assured powerhouse.
It's kind of painful to face, right? I mean, think about it. Are you going to keep getting cheated, or will you finally become smart? If you genuinely want respect, success, and wealth, you've got to drop the unchecked innocence. Being smart isn't just a talent anymore. It is an absolute necessity for survival.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've taken 12 golden rules from our source material and distilled them down into 6 essential life pillars. We're going to cover the price of naivety, fortifying your inner strength, the power of communication, navigating a selfish world, writing your own story, and finally, mind over emotion.
All right, kicking things off with Pillar 1, the price of naivety, and why pure innocence is actually dangerous. Here's a really harsh truth for you. The world simply doesn't care about your internal goodness. It only reacts to the external image of vulnerability that you project.
There's this incredibly powerful metaphor from the source material that I just love. In a forest, the straight trees are cut first. Think about that for a second. Just like the straightest trees are the absolute first ones a lumberjack goes for, people who show excessive innocence or hesitation or fear, they're the absolute first targets for manipulation. You can literally be the most genuinely good person on earth, but if you don't project strength, you're going to be the first one cut down.
Moving right along to Pillar 2, fortifying your inner strength, which is all about protecting your mind and your boundaries. Because look, before you can ever even hope to handle the outside world, you absolutely have to build unbreakable defenses within yourself.
So the crucial thing here is mastering 3 core principles. Number 1, hide your weaknesses. Seriously, sharing all your pain with everyone, it literally just gives your enemies a big red button to press whenever they want to take you down. Number 2, respect yourself first. If you're constantly lowering your own value, you're basically turning yourself into a footpath for people to wipe their dirty boots on. No thanks. And number 3, break your own limits. If you just stay locked inside your little comfort zone, your growth comes to a dead halt. That brings us to Pillar 3, the power of communication. Strategic silence and calculated words. Successful leaders don't just talk to fill the air. They weaponize their speech. True intelligence is knowing exactly when to stay silent and exactly what to say when you do finally open your mouth. Words are like swords. If you're just speaking aimlessly, without really thinking, it completely diminishes your value. People are just going to take you lightly and mock you. But when you use strategic silence, when you carefully think and then deliver calculated, heavy words, you instantly command respect. You literally have the power to bend the world to your will just based on how you speak.
And hey, physical communication matters just as much as what you say. Looking down or constantly glancing away while you speak? That screams self-doubt and weakness. It's practically sending out an invitation for someone to dominate you. On the flip side, holding firm, direct eye contact proves you aren't an easy target. It flat-out demands respect and projects this undeniable power.
So what exactly do you do when you're directly under attack? Well, here are 3 steps for handling provocation. Step 1, pause. Step 2, smile coolly. Step 3, respond with intellect. Our source points out figures like the actor Mahesh Babu and director RGV. Whenever they get hit with these wildly negative, provocative questions, they never explode with anger. Why? Because anger completely kills your thinking power. Instead, they completely disarm their opponents with this chilling little smile and razor-sharp intellect.
All right, on to Pillar 4, navigating a selfish world, handling others, and curating your circle. We're shifting gears now from our internal mindset to our external relationships. And we need to drop a pretty heavy truth right here. Nobody builds bonds with you without at least some underlying self-interest. Because of that reality, you've got to be incredibly careful about who you let into your inner circle. Hanging out with lions means you learn to hunt, you grow, and you relentlessly push toward your goals. Hanging out with donkeys, well, you're only going to get kicked and you'll just stagnate in the mud. You have got to avoid aimless, shameless people. They will just drag you right down into their quicksand, for sure.
Let's look at the exact mindset shift we're talking about here. Imagine you're provoked. The naive reaction, exploding with anger. The strategic reaction, smiling and using intellect. Or say you're making a deal.
The naive person expects selfless support, right? But the strategic person highlights mutual benefits, knowing full well the world runs on self-interest. And when it comes to sharing pain, the naive person goes and tells everybody, while the strategic person carefully hides those vulnerabilities from their enemies.
Up next is Pillar 5, writing your own story, patience, and taking control. Let me tell you, if you don't have a crystal clear direction and vision for your own life, I promise you, you're just going to become a pawn in someone else's grand plan. If you don't write your story, someone else definitely will. You have to take absolute control of your life's script and your decisions. If you just hand the pen over to other people, if you let them make all those big choices for you, they are inevitably going to drag you down paths you never ever wanted to walk.
Now, a really massive part of writing your own story is patience. And I'm not just talking about sitting around waiting. It's about the strategic delay of action. Look, the world is absolutely full of manipulators who will pressure you into making rushed, fatal mistakes. Demanding instant success, it just causes terrible missteps. True intelligence actually lies in waiting for the absolute perfect moment to strike, entirely on your own terms.
And finally, we arrive at Pillar 6, mind over emotion, the final synthesis. This right here is the ultimate conclusion of all those golden rules we've been decoding from the source material today. So think about it like this. You have a heart, which holds your empathy, your pure goodness, and your humanity. And you have a brain, which handles strategy, protection, and totally objective decisions. The profound lesson here is simply this. Keep your humanity safely tucked away in your heart, but filter every single decision you make through a sharp, calculating brain. Because if you lead only with your heart, people will absolutely use your goodness against you and leave you stranded on the street. Which brings us to the end. You know, the goal of this explainer wasn't just to sit here and share some abstract theories with you. It was to challenge you to stop living as a naive participant and to start operating like a strategic genius. Internalize these rules, make them a core part of your daily habits. So, are you ready? And honestly, more importantly, what is your very next move going to be?